Do you believe construction should have been shut down for 2 weeks?
We don't, Karina, but I guess we are where we are. We do understand why the government has taken this decision, but as an industry, we're all about managing risk, and that is essentially what we've done since the start of this outbreak. We've treated COVID as another risk to be managed. We've introduced very comprehensive management plans around that. And whilst, yes, there have been some instances, especially recently, of COVID outbreaks on construction sites, I think if you look back across the pandemic, those instances have been very few and far between, especially compared to other industries.
Okay, but you say that you don't think the industry should have been shut down, but you also understand the reasons why the New South Wales government has come to that decision. That doesn't seem to really make sense.
Well, I guess what I'm saying, Karina, is that ultimately governments make decisions based on, as they say all the time, their health evidence, and it's really sort of pointless for us to argue that case now. That decision has been made. What we're really focused on now is reopening construction sites as quickly as possible.
Yeah, and groups like yours have been in talks lobbying the New South Wales government for the last few days. Are you expecting those lobbying efforts to work and there will be a relaxing of the rules for construction ahead of July 30? Do you have any confidence that that might happen?
Well, I don't think we're going to see any necessarily relaxing. What we're really focused on is ensuring that this 2 weeks doesn't extend beyond 2 weeks. That's our real concern, that this isn't some sort of open-ended shutdown. And we've been having quite collaborative discussions already over the weekend and through today on the steps that are going to be necessary to make sure that construction can reopen on the 30th.
Okay, so you've accepted that 2 week pause will remain in place, because there had been some reports earlier today that construction in some form may restart ahead of that date.
What we're trying to get is some agreement. Ultimately, construction sites are not things that are very easy, especially the larger construction sites, are not very easy to just shut down and to restart. There's real processes that are involved in both shutting down safely a construction site and reopening. So what we're seeking really as a minimum is the opportunity to start those processes in advance of the 30th of the month, so that when we do get to the 30th, we can really get going. Maybe not back to normal again, because some things, in some cases, some of these projects may take weeks and weeks and weeks to get back to their original productivity, just because of the difficulties of reorganizing deliveries, reorganizing critical contractors to come back to site. But as far as possible, we would like the opportunity to get in there before the 30th and allow us to restart at a reasonable level on the 30th.
Does that experience also translate to smaller residential work? There's a lot of people who are renovating homes or building homes in and across Greater Sydney. What does this 2 week pause mean for them, and then the people waiting in the queue to get tradespeople after them, because there is such a huge demand for this construction work?
Yeah, I mean, that's a great example, Karina. I mean, you look at the situation. If you've got a problem with your roof, how long it takes to find someone to come and fix that. The issue will be now potentially that these trades have long, full order books, and how do we fit that back into the timeline again? I guess certainly from a major contractor perspective, what we're expecting to see is governments issue acceleration orders to essentially try to make back up the 2 weeks' time that have been lost.
And we know before this halt in construction was announced, there would be $1 billion a week hit to the economy of the Greater Sydney lockdown. What's the financial impact now that your sector is included?
Well, I mean, that $1 billion is a figure that has been sort of put against our industry as well, $1 billion a week. You know, it is fairly substantial. And I think the important thing to remember here is that just the importance of the construction industry to the economy. The construction industry is the third largest industry in Australia. We contribute almost 8% of GDP. And the reason why governments turn to construction in times of economic hardship, such as we've just had with COVID, is that for every dollar that is spent on infrastructure, there's a $3 kick on to the wider economy. And so when you shut construction down, that kick on also gets shut down.